Okay. So, before we visit the goddess, what a fantastic choice, Savita. The book is as unique as the person herself. She loves to be introduced as a mom, feeler, muser, scientist, daughter, wanderer, a seeker of truth. Isn't that fabulous? And that just tells me it makes her a true lover of life itself. Over to you, Savita.
Thank you very much, Pratibha, for the introduction. So, my choice of book today, and hello everybody, good evening. My choice of book today is Before We Visit the Goddess by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. The book by itself has a kind of like warmth which embraces us as we read it. CBD, as I referred to her, is an author who consistently writes about soulful and strong women. Like the characterization of women in her books are very strong, and they are soulful, which women are, right? So this particular book, it's a kaleidoscope of life. That's how I look at it, across three generations of women: Sabitri, Bela, and Tara. So these three women, they go through, a passage. So there is colorfulness in the book. There is liveliness, love, humaneness, masculine tenderness, and also they have kind of like a teenage, their own teenage vulnerabilities. They discover themselves, and they also persevere very tolerantly until they visit the goddess within themselves. So that's what the book is all about. Like they visit the goddess within themselves, after going through all the complete passage. So to introduce the three main characters, right? Sabitri by herself, she yearns for an education. She comes from a very poor family, and she yearns for an education. She gets lucky at it, but then her. But then life or time takes over, and she couldn't go as desired. And then she ensures that her daughter Bela receives it. But as it often happens, love lures Bela into running out of the country without her mother's knowledge and consent. And so Sabitri is torn by this separation, and much more by her daughter's own betrayal, right? So this is what Sabitri is about. And then Bela for herself, right? Her innocent narration of a truth when she was a child. And this innocent narration of a truth distances her mother and dad, and and without even her own knowledge. She doesn't even realize that this is what is going to happen. And the worst part of this is that Sabitri blames her for something she doesn't even realize. And later, after she runs away, she strongly depends on her husband. But but she undergoes a very bitter, unannounced divorce that tears her apart, and she picks up herself with the help of Ken, who's like a son-like neighbor boy. So although Ken's characterization is a very small part of the book, it's very central and very integral to raise Bela from shambles. I think like if every one of us have a character like Ken alongside us whenever there is a downfall, I think our lives will be beautiful and that meaningful. It adds meaning and purpose to our lives. You must read the book to understand the strength in Ken. And then comes Tara, who is Bela's own daughter. This girl, she goes through, from a mountain of happiness, she goes through a valley of disaster. And while going through this valley of disaster, she's caught between, her melodramatic mother and her manipulative father. And it's on the either end of the spectrum, and she's torn between these two. So she makes up for everything that she lost, like including her parents, through her behaviors. And universe, right? Like when you go through such a circumstance, when you're torn apart, when you are not responsible for anything that you're going through, but you're torn apart, right? And during this time is when universe itself intervenes and then clearly directs us. And this happens very clearly with Tara, that she goes through a near-death encounter, and that's where universe touches her and reinforces faith. So going through these three, right? So if time were a tunnel, Sabitri, Bela, and Tara, they all go through the same tunnel. They're rebellious and dreamy as teenagers. They're strong and independent as adults, and they're protective and prudent as mothers. And I think it's universal for all of us. And I think like we all go through the same tunnel. It's just that the time as a tunnel stays, it stays, and then we pass through this tunnel stage after stage, experience after experience. So I think like, although on the surface we have different experience, on the outset we have different experiences, but underlyingly all the experience and what it distills out of these experience, it all is unique. I mean, it's not unique, it's like common across everybody, and we all pass through the same tunnel of life and time, right? So that's that way I was able to relate to the book at every point of the, with every character and with every point, and it's so lively. The book is so the story and the characters are so lively. And also, like, none of these characters have been like they are not like glorified, or there is no glorification. Everybody, each one of them has enough reason, and there is sufficient room to judge them. But CBD peels layers out of layers after layers of pain and hurt to reveal what underlies, whatever their actions that they encounter, or whatever they do, their actions. So this makes it so vividly alive, and it's very easy for us to identify with them. And very often it takes relentless effort to build something spectacular, but it takes only one word, just a word, which can be very unintentionally spelled, or a casual remark. Such kind of words is what turns our world around. And these bombs of words, right, it's not built momentously, it's not instantaneous, it happens, it's built brick and mortar over a period of time. But this word could be, very unintentionally uttered at the wrong time, at the right time, but it turns our world around. And Sabitri, Bela, and Tara are no different. So that way we could relate to these characters very intimately. And what a way to end.
Sorry to interrupt you, dear, but since we have to wrap it right on time.
Yeah, I'm finishing.
Yes, Savita. Sorry to interrupt you, Savita.
My closing note. Yeah. So what a beautiful way to end the book is like through the satisfaction that overwhelms Sabitri. So Sabitri writes a letter to her granddaughter Tara, where she accounts about her satisfaction that overwhelms her as the new recipe she perfected melts in her tongue. The corn-shaped, most elegant mango-colored dessert that she names after her mom. The true joy that comes with something that's achieved without depending on anyone, and the joy that nobody can take away. That's an absolutely delightful note to end an epic novel. And I just love the book, and I would strongly suggest to read CBD's writings, especially her Palace of Illusions, which gives an womanly perspective of Mahabharata. And there is... and again, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Let's have more strength and more power to writers like this who depict women as women. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Savita. I'm sorry I had to interrupt and stop you. I could see you passionately going on and on about the book. Thank you so much. We look forward to learning from such experiences, and we reduced from 15 to 8 participants. I guess we need to reduce it to further, so to let you all speak to your heart's glory. Thank you so much, Savita. Gauri, could you take over to